Give me a minute. Let me get things going a little bit. Niger. We're going to talk about Niger today, you guys. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Every now and again, I tell you, the Matrix will show you the code. Every now and then, something will happen. You see a little hiccup. You say, whoa, what was that? I missed something. What did I miss? What did I miss? Something done happened. Something happened. Y'all, something done happened yesterday, boy. Yesterday was rough. Ooh, who was that? I think it was Sister Jeannie sent me the link when the Congress and the senators got together to question Google, Facebook, and Twitter about what they're going to do with you stupid Americans and all of this information y'all are getting from Russia, trying to attack and invade the world, and they want to keep you dumb and stupid. That was a great meeting. Y'all should watch that. That was comedy. It was comedy. Oh, no, it wasn't comedy. I take that back. It was no comedy. It was horribly sad. The whole thing, yesterday, it was a live broadcast when they were questioning Google, Twitter, and Facebook. For the first time yesterday, became a troll. I was a troll. Sister Jeannie, you made me a troll yesterday. I was trolling. I was pissed. I was like, man, what? I can't believe you asked that question. I was flipping out at the questions they were asking. Everything designed just to try to get rid of our First Amendment. They just want to kill free speech. And I'm like flipping out because people are taking these morons seriously. But that's not the worst part. There were two really horrible worst parts. So they were going through, grilling them about how they need to keep track of us and our IP addresses and what we're doing and where the money's coming from. And, gosh, it was insanity, y'all. It was insanity. Then you had Feinstein was there. Yes, Feinstein is still alive. And people still voting for her. I can't figure out why people still voting for McCain and Feinstein. But it's just, oh my God, it was so hard to watch. It was hard. And I think the worst thing about the whole ignorant of a couple hundred adults getting together who run our government to show pictures of Facebook, to show pictures of tweets and logos, memes, y'all. It was crazy. So I was flipping out. I was trolling. I was like, your mama this and you're fat and ugly and da-da-da. I was just saying stuff. I was upset. But the craziest thing, the only person who said anything with some damn logic to try to protect our First Amendment was Cruz. I couldn't believe that. I was like, Cruz is the only one saying leave these companies alone. These are entertainment companies. This is not a media news outlet. It's just Facebook. It's just cool. But the whole thing was orchestrated and designed to convince people Russia did it so that they will vote for Hillary in 2020. Because you know what's coming. You know somebody promised her a run and she didn't get her run, and homegirl gonna get her run. Because some big corporation, some big monster somewhere, some Rothschild or somebody somewhere promised her she'd be the president. She gonna be the president. And if she ain't the president in 2020, they gonna make us lie she'll be in 2024. And if she ain't the president in 2024, she gonna be at the 2028, old as ever. All right, let me stop. It was a good, y'all should watch it. Because you need to know what we're paying our government for. You need to know the nonsense. While they're murdering and killing everybody all across the whole damn planet, you got our government in a room talking about social media memes. It's just insanity, y'all. So I'm sorry. I got started a little too soon. I didn't see who came in the room. When I think about it, I'm just like, this is what's important. We're talking about social media. Our government. It was crazy, y'all. Good morning, Jennifer, Renee, Buddha, Gary, Mark. Y'all up this morning. Hey, Trent. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Trent. I didn't mean to say stupid. People, nobody's stupid, y'all. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Brother Mark is in the house. All right. We got a whole bunch of Olga, Lisa. Okay, everybody up this morning. Man, y'all got nothing to do. Let's hear me talk about the 1%. Man, I heard something this morning. Every now and then, the Matrix will show you who it is. damn it, the Matrix will show you who you are too. So there was something else yesterday that I got to show you. Oh man, and this is another brother because and I'm gonna have to make an apology later. I hate apologizing for stuff, but you gotta apologize for stuff sometimes when you're wrong, and I'm gonna have to apologize to somebody later on. Not right now. I don't talk about it right now. Right now, talk about something else. I gotta get some coffee down there so I can move on to this. So I got the world map behind me because something happened yesterday. Somebody slipped up and said something. Every now and then they will slip up and say something, and you will know. Let me show you. I gotta show you this testimony from this brother, and I like this brother, y'all. I like this brother. There are a few Democrats and Republicans that when things go down, I kind of think we need to make sure they don't face the music. I think they might have some of that psychopathic stuff in them, but they don't have as much as the others. I gotta show you. Now listen to what this brother said. Listen, make sure I have the sound on right so y'all can hear it. Here we go.
2011, no intellectually honest person thinks 2001 has anything to do with this. I promise you that. It says specifically we're going after the enemies who attacked us. ISIS had nothing to do with that. Nobody in Niger has anything to do with 9/11. Other has anything to do with this.
I didn't give you the context. They're talking about the Authorization Act, right? Like this was after 9/11. We had the Defense Authorization Act, which was why the empire got the green light to invade the whole entire world of the earth anytime they want to and murder and kill anyone. It was on that day we turned our Washington into James Bond. It gave them the right to murder anybody, anywhere who they deemed a terrorist. But he said something, and I know y'all missed it because y'all didn't have your coffee this morning. So I want you to listen. I'm going to play it again. Listen. But this is what he's talking about. I want you to listen.
I promise you that. It says specifically we're going after the enemies who attacked us. ISIS had nothing to do with that. Nobody in Niger has anything to do with 9/11, other than they have sort of this ideology of radical Islam. But I don't think we gave the executive branch a blanket authority just to go to war anywhere they want against people who they say are a part of radical Islam. Ultimately, there's going to have to be diplomacy involved in this as well. How are we ever going to end the war? Is there ever an end to this war? But really, we're going after the enemies who attacked us. ISIS had nothing to do with that. Nobody in Niger has anything to do with 9/11. Anything to do with this. I promise you that. It says specifically we're going after the enemies who attacked us. ISIS had nothing to do with that. Nobody in Niger has anything.
Nobody in Niger had anything to do with 9/11. Why are we talking about Niger? And first of all, I'm going to have to correct the good senator. It's not pronounced Niger. I pronounce it Niger. I like Niger a little better. Nobody in Niger had anything to do with 9/11. The Nigers had nothing to do with 9/11, y'all. They just Nigers. They got nothing to do with 9/11. Let me put this way. Okay, so let's look at So Nigers are bad things, right? And wherever the Nigers, wherever they are, we got to go get them. We got to go get them. We have the endless authorization to go after the Nigers because he's very clearly telling us once you get labeled a Niger, it means we can pretty much do whatever we want to you, right? When it comes to war, we're bombing, we're killing, we're murdering you. I suspect that he slipped up and the Matrix just told us something about Nigers. I think there's a lot more Nigers around the world than anybody wants to think. Let me show you something real quick. So first of all, this is the mineral map of the world. And do y'all see this is where all the minerals are. This is where you can make a lot of money. This is where corporations, they can go and they can do anything they need to. But the problem is, if you look right here, look, I'm going to draw on the map for you. I got some tools today. Look at all this right here. You mean to tell me that in none of this area, there ain't nothing? Ain't nothing in any of that area. There's Nigers in there, though. There's some Nigers. But I got to be fair. Some Nigers, we're going to get them Nigers, boy, because, boy, you don't let no Nigers, you don't let the Nigers in your house. But I want to show you something. Hold on. Let's be clear because we got to be fair. Got to be fair. It's a lot more Nigers than you think. Look over my head. I got to make myself a little smart. Do you look over my head? Do you see? Hold on, right here. Do you see all of this right here? Look at all of this. Oh my God. Look at all. Do you see all of that? Do you know what that is? That's called minerals. This is what Wall Street needs. Damn it. What if there was some Nigers up there too? What if there was some Nigers up there? Let me show you a picture of something. I suspect that the good senator, oh man, I lost it. I suspect that the good senator, I gotta find it. Hold on. I suspect that he told us something in that. Because in all of these agencies and Congress and the government, you got some really good people who want to tell you the truth. And they let the truth slip every now and then. They let you know what it's really about. Because it never was about ISIS. Did you hear what he said? It wasn't about ISIS. It was about Niger. It was all about Niger. And I got, oh man, I can't even find it. I try to go, oh, here it goes. I suspect there's a Niger up there that y'all didn't meet. Now y'all like, I got some of my friends, they kind of like, yeah, what's he talking about? He talking about, who Nigers? He trying to say that in some kind of way. Who he talking about some Nigers? Always, it's a brown dude on talking about Niger. No, hold on. Here's a Niger that y'all don't know about. Did y'all know about this Niger? Y'all that did? He's a Niger. He lives up here. He lives up there. This brother, he just wanted to graze his cattle on lands that his ancestors have been grazing cattle on for a long time. Before that, the Native Americans were doing it, but that's, it's what it is. But you know what they did to him when he thought he had a right to graze his cattle? They killed that Niger. They shot that Niger dead. They killed him. Why would they kill him? You see all this behind me? Well, let me take the picture down. Look at all this right. He lives up here. It's a whole bunch. And so what I suspect is if you do, look over here. It's a whole bunch of Nigers over here. Look at this. Look at it. Oh, hold on. Oh, wait, dang it. I'm messing up. They're over here. Look at all this here. Some of that's oils. A lot of Nigers over there. And in fact, there's some Nigers all up over here. So we got to make sure that we get all the Nigers over here. And over here, we don't know what's down here either. So we're going to pay attention to what's down here. And let me see. And of course, all over here. And I suspect if you start looking around the world at places we have interest. Oh, it's some more. Hold on. Let me move myself out the way. Because if you're looking for some more minerals, more places where there might be some Nigers living on top of something. Anytime there's some Nigers trying to graze their cattle or they're trying to live, oh, damn, look at all this down over here. Look at all this. Nobody knows what's there. So the interesting thing about where there are no minerals, so you know what minerals are? Minerals are things that get here on asteroids. And asteroids pummel down on the planet. They've been doing it for billions of years. But for some reason, either we just don't know what's in those areas, or asteroids never fell in those spots. I suspect asteroids actually fell in those spots. And I suspect 9/11 and the Defense Authorization Act had nothing to do with any damn ISIS or ISIL. I think that the senator just told us the truth. No, I'm not pausing. I just don't know what to say next. I'm trying to be nice. No, I'm not trying to be nice. I'm trying to be honest. So there was a commercial in the 80s, and it said, a comedian made a joke out of it. He said something about, I'm a Niger, he's a Niger, she's a Niger, we some Nigers, wouldn't you like to be a Niger too? And I think that's what all of this is about, is we don't really understand that we all some Nigers. If you are in the way of Wall Street and their profits, you are a Niger. The Defense Authorization Act means that you can be bombed, you can be shot dead on your land, you can be shot in your community by police, FBI, anybody, because you're just a Niger. That's all you are. You are in the way of some Wall Street profits. And that's what this is all about. And I thank the good senator for being honest. And we have to embrace the Niger family. Because we all right, let me keep going. So yesterday I didn't say anything about oh, wait a minute, I can't do that. So now that we know what we are, I need to make a move. I think I'm going to go to the plantation house. And I'm going to welcome everybody to the Niger family. Some of us been Nigers a little longer than others, and it all has to do with class and poverty and some, all races and ethnicities. Some of us been Nigers a long time, but it's important to embrace who you are. Why? Because you know who to stand next to. If you don't know who to stand next to, then you're gonna be in trouble. Now, some Nigers though, they give whips to some Nigers, and some Nigers, man, they'll turn on the other Nigers. You gotta be careful with those Nigers. So at the face of it, you are a Niger, but let's move along. I don't want to spend too much time. Y'all sent me down this road. You know you did this right. Hold on. So 9/11 had a lot to do with some Nigers. Some Nigers living on top of some resources, and we had to go get them. Something happened yesterday. Horrible thing happened yesterday. I gotta pull this up because we gotta. I didn't say anything about it because you know me. I got my conspiracy friends and I love them to death. But I like to sit back and I like to wait till somebody says something that I can trust. There are news media places I trust, and there are others that lie all the damn time. And I don't say anything. I just watched their lies yesterday because they start lying about this, that, and the other, and how many people, and what happened, and who did it, and why they did it, and they start doing all that lying. So, a real bad thing happened yesterday. And now I'm going to look at it because finally a news agency actually said it that was not CNN, it wasn't ABC, wasn't Fox, wasn't MSNBC, wasn't anybody that lies to you. It was RT. And finally RT came out and explained what happened. And this was horrible, man. So
gave a statement describing the incident by the Hudson River as a cowardly act of terrorism.
This was an act of terror.
Yes.
And a particularly cowardly act of terror. At this moment, based on the information we have, we know of 8 innocent people who have lost their lives.
8.
And over a dozen more injured. We ask all New Yorkers to live by the idea, if you see something, say something, tell an officer immediately. If you see anything unusual, anything that worries you.
I agree.
Be vigilant.
Yes.
And know that there will be extensive additional employments of NYPD officers this evening and throughout the days ahead.
Well, we're here actually only...
But what won't happen is nobody will talk about why it happened. Why? Because people are going to sit there and say, oh, defend us. We need more military. We need more guns. We need more bombs. We need to go get them where they're at. And nobody's going to talk about the damn truth. The damn truth is the Nigers came here because of some Arab Nigers. They came here. And why did they come here? They came here and they inspired people because we have a war against Nigers for oil in their countries. Like, let's take it back. Let's be real and let's be honest. 9/11, when they came here, Bill Maher said it. Y'all got mad at Bill Maher when he said it, but he said the truth. It was blowback. They came here because we went to their country. We started pumping out some resources, minerals, oil, which is the name of that particular one. And the poor people were sitting around looking at all the oil leaving like, what the hell? Where's ours? Starving, watching the corrupt leaders that we put in place, giving them guns and bombs and tanks to push that country back into some sort of militarized country. And the poor people got sick of it. And they said, damn it, we're not going to take it anymore. And when they stood up to Wall Street, they became Nigers. Y'all call them Al-Qaeda, ISIS, ISIL, whatever you want to call them. But they're poor people who thinks that the resources in their country are for them. And so that began this whole war on terrorism. War on Nigerism, right? Because that's what it's all about. It's always about money. But nobody's going to talk about how do you fix the problem. You don't fix the problem with police. You don't fix the problem with, I think it was a Home Depot truck. But you know what? That might be a part of fix to the problem. You might want to ban Home Depot. That might be a good thing. I think if we ban Home Depot, it'll save lives. It'll save a lot more lives than you think. We need to ban big box corporations, but that's a whole nother discussion. But they won't say that. It's like when a gun crime happens. They won't say nothing about, the actual cause of the problem. They'll start attacking the guns. So this is the whole same thing. walking everybody into a police state, taking everybody's rights and freedoms and minerals all over the world, from Lavoy finna come to Niger and other countries, because they want all the money for themselves. And they get dumb Nigers fighting each other about who's more Niger than the other Niger, because this Niger look like this and that Niger looks like this, and this Niger is from this border and this Niger is from that border. And so all the Nigers start fighting over stuff, and so we start losing free speech and rights because the Nigers are fighting over, oh, because my 1% didn't win and your 1% won, and so we're going to fight between the Nigers. We're going to fight. Sometimes I look at this stuff and I'm like, is this really happening? Like, is this real? This is really as smart as we can be. Like, this is us. This is like, y'all not playing. Like, this is serious. Like, y'all are serious. Like, you're very serious. You don't see in every single country. All it is the same damn thing all the time. And you got people who don't seem to understand. They're like, oh no, he's a Muslim Niger. I don't like him. He's a Christian Niger. I don't like him. He's a, and so it's the same thing, people. Why did it happen? It happened because we went to their country, we stole their oil, we left the population in poverty, and the people are pissed off. Now, thank goodness, not enough of them are pissed off that they're killing more of us. But instead of jumping on the side of Wall Street, agreeing with the 1% that we need more police state, we need less, right to free speech, we need to go get the Russian Nigers. Instead of all of that nonsense, why don't we just say, you know what? Damn it, I think I might be a Niger too. Invite some Nigers to your house. Let the Nigers come on in the house, so you can now say, I done had a whole bunch of redneck Nigers in my house. I done had a whole bunch of inner city Nigers in my house. I done had a Muslim Niger in my house. I had a Christian Niger. And so the whole Niger family that got created after 9/11 can all come together. And we can all be some Nigers together. How about we do that? How about we look at reality and let reality tell us who the Nigers are? And so I'll show you something else. So I was watching, I think is this it right here? I don't know. I got a whole bunch of stuff. This right here. Y'all see this right here? Turn the volume down. I don't think you need to hear it. See what that's a 1% jet. You know what that 1% jet does? It drops bombs on Nigers. And it's taking off. And this is Iran. And that's really weird because that actually was an American jet. Made in America, Niger. And so the 1%, and see that bomb right there? That was made in America. See that's an F4. You know who made that? The American Nigers made that. What's that doing in Iran? 1% flying over. See the little things falling out the bottom? See, that's what they drop on Nigers. Boom! That's what happens to Nigers. And so there's another, look, guess where that one was made? It's another 1% flying machine. Another 1% flying machine with the swoop wings. You know what that is? That's called I forgot what that one is. That's another 1%. And see what they do is they go up in the air, they get Nigers to fly them, and they get them to drop bombs on other Nigers from other countries. Like, say right there, that's chaff. That's chaff. That's a 1% tool to protect the Niger that's in the 1% aircraft dropping bombs on some Nigers. Look, that's another one right there. I forgot, that was the one from Top Gun. And there's another, C-130. Look at that. Guess who made that? We do. American Nigers. Guess where it is? Iran. Why in the world are 1% tools? I'm gonna lose my mind. Sometimes it just, if you say it out loud, sometimes if you just know that you're on the porch, if you know you're just on the porch, some of us got a little more Niger status. Some of us can get on the porch. Some of us way out in the field. Some of us can hold a whip and whip the other Nigers. But the question I want to ask you, do you want to hold the whip? Do you want to whip some other Nigers? Because all of this is always about the same thing. Every day, we could sit here and we could look at the news. Let me see what y'all talking about. That's right. I'm going to sit on the plantation porch. I'm on the porch. You know why I'm on the porch? Because I won the birth lottery. I was born in a good family, and they made me a real authoritarian earlier. They gave me My father put a computer in my hand when I was 7 years old, and I started writing programs. So I got programming privilege. And I used my programming Niger privilege over all types of other Nigers. And I got jobs I beat them out of all the time because I got that privilege a lot early on in life. Because that's what we do, don't we? We all take the privilege that we have and we use it for ourselves until we get old enough and we realize, damn it, the privilege I have isn't a bad thing. But all the privileges I have, I probably should use to help other Nigers like myself. Nigers that don't look like me, Nigers that don't worship in places that I do, but Nigers who... I'm just laughing here. I appreciate y'all sharing because they're not going to leave this one up. They're probably going to take this one down. You know, you can't say Niger 82 times in a video because after a while, there's some smart people out there and they'll figure out what you're trying to say. You're right, Marsha. Thank you. And they didn't even know how many troops we had. How many? Hold on. I got to go back to the map. And there was, oh, no, I got another one. Hold on. Marsha, you didn't hit it because when they asked McCain and they asked Lindsay, our colonial 1% specialists, they asked them where American troops were. And they had no idea. They had no idea where our troops, oh, you know what? I may not even have it. I was gonna put oh man, I don't have it in front of me, do I? All right, well, I'm not gonna show. We're just gonna talk about it. So they didn't even know where the troops were. We got 6,000 troops in the Niger continent of Africa. We got 6,000 troops, and I think some people joined late, and they're probably like, "What the hell is he talking about? What the hell? This dude, I think he done finally lost his mind." And the truth is, no, I lost my mind a long time ago. This is what I'm talking about.
Anything to do with 9/11, other than they have sort of you that. It says specifically we're going after the enemies who attacked us. ISIS had nothing to do with that. Nobody in Niger has anything to you that. It says specifically we're going after the enemies who attacked us. ISIS had nothing to do with that. Nobody in Niger has anything.
It was the Nigers. They had nothing to do with that. This was all about Rand Paul finally told us, because I think that brother's on our side. I think, you know why I love this guy? Hold on. I'm sorry, Marshall. Let me tell you why I love this guy. I love this guy because he is the one of the very few people anywhere in Washington talking about all the Nigers in prison, right? Y'all know we put Nigers in prison. We got a whole bunch of Nigers in prison. They come in all shapes, size, colors, genders, everything, religions. They all go to prison. So we got a bunch of Nigers in prison. It's just a Niger slavery that we got going on. And this brother, this is the only one that's talking about it. This the other. Look, I'm gonna sit right here and I got my phone on. I'm gonna wait for the Black Caucus to call me. They're not gonna call. It's sitting right here. It's not gonna ring. Not gonna ring. And some of y'all would think that the Black Caucus has more of an interest in Nigers, certain types of Nigers, than other Nigers, and they don't, because they have no interest in you because you're a Niger, and they're not. They're 1%ers. You're the Niger. And so this brother is one of the few brothers that's actually trying to end slavery, end the war on drugs, bring all of our Niger troops from fighting other Nigers all around the world for minerals and oil, end the oil war, which if we did, the attack yesterday wouldn't have happened, but we can't seem to get right. We can't seem to understand that it's all 1% versus Nigers. So anyway, Sister Marsha, you're right. And so it's 6,000, right? We have 6,000. They told us, first of all, they didn't think we had any troops in Africa. And most of us thought, AFRICOM was like 1,000. Then they said we had 6,000, which, Sister Marsha, it means we probably got about 20,000, 30,000 American Niger troops over in Africa fighting other Nigers. That's what's going on. All right, let me calm down. It's crazy. I drink my coffee to see what y'all talking about. Yeah, Jeff, that's why I follow Rand. I appreciate Rand because he's definitely following in his father's footsteps. He definitely has Nigers on his heart. He's looking out for Nigers all over the world. And those are the people we need to, oh, I'm sorry. I can't look at comments. I got to apologize. I forgot I was supposed to apologize. I said I was going to apologize to somebody. Okay, no, that's not true. I'm not going to apologize. I'm not apologizing. I'm not. because I haven't said anything that I don't think was to the best of my understanding of the truth. But every now and then, there are dogs that actually, dumb dogs, have a day and say some truth. And I stopped watching TYT. If y'all don't know what that is, it's the Young Turks. And there's a lot of smart brothers there. And there's one smart brother there, too, that I couldn't watch him anymore. I couldn't watch him. I had to stop. He pissed me off during the election because we got to a point where, you know, the people I understand, let me tell you who I understand. I understand during this election cycle, I understand my brothers and sisters who begrudgingly said, damn it, I don't want to vote for Trump, but I have to. I have to because Hillary can't win. I understand those brothers. I understand my brothers and sisters who said, you know what? I really don't want to vote for Hillary, but I have to. I can't let Trump win. And they did. These were the honest people. These were the honest people who, before all of this happened, and everybody was like Bernie and the other side was like everybody else, they understood that these were two poor choices. And throughout the whole election cycle, they were honest. They didn't start going into la-la land, cuckoo land, starting to take somebody who was a bad option and start pretending they're a good option to try to get them some votes. They were people who begrudgingly said that, no, these people shouldn't lead our country, but I'm going to make the best decision I can with the data I have. I understand those people. Jank was not one of these people, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. Jank, Jigger. He's a Niger too, but anyway, he's a smart Niger. I just got upset with him because he went too hardcore in the Hillary direction. He was not honest. He was one of these cats that completely went. Bill Maher was another. He pissed me off too, but he just went too far. You know, people who they drink the Kool-Aid, you know, like they're going to, they love the Kool-Aid so much, they put the finger in, they start getting the residue, get the last, they want to get the last of that Kool-Aid, get all that Kool-Aid. That's what he was doing. He drank the Kool-Aid and he was pushing pro-Hillary. He was too strong. He totally blew me completely away from TYT because he hated Trump, and I get it. They tapped into his emotion. I understand why his mental illness kicked in and he became super pro-Hillary. I understand that. But he drank the Kool-Aid. You're supposed to do this with the Kool-Aid. You're supposed to like, oh, it's just nasty. I don't want to drink it. Oh, there's some Trump down in there. I don't want to drink that. There's some Hillary down there. Oh, you know, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, I get that. He was not that cat. But now that I said that, now I said, put him all in the mud, he said something that was true. He jumped on a team that said something that was true. I'm going to let you hear what he said. He actually said something that I'm like, ah. That's why and it's not that I don't like him. I love him. I love Brother Jank. I do. It's just he crazy as all. I'm gonna shut up. Let me listen to what he's talking about because he's talking about some true stuff here. Listen, pay attention.
It's a new wing of the Democratic Party, and what it's aiming to do is bring the Democratic Party to what it was, which is strong and progressive. Now, it hasn't been that way for at least 40 years because this is the corporate takeover. Basically, what the donors have done is told the Democrats, hey, take it easy. Don't be populist.
Oh.
Don't attack multinational corporations.
Oh.
Agree to our agenda of all the trade deals and all the tax breaks for Wall Street and the deregulation. Pretend to fight the Republicans, but don't actually win on any of these issues. And they neutered the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party used to be lions. And not only FDR, not only Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, but Ralph Nader had Richard Nixon on the run so much that Nixon set up the EPA and OSHA just to say, okay, Nader, you win. I'll do it. So that's how strong progressives in the Democratic Party used to be, and we can bring that back. The trick is don't take any money from corporations or big donors.
And he's right. He's right. And it scares the hell out of me. It scares the hell out of me. He's right. And he's not stupid. He's not stupid. He might be scared and, you know, a bunch of other stuff, but he's not stupid. He understands. So what he's talking about is the group Justice Democrats. It's a website. I think it's justicedemocrat.com. And their goal, which one of y'all sent me a link a long time ago for, and their goal is to vote out the Democrats. Their goal is to take over the entire Democrat Party, run all new people, and wipe the whole party out. I applaud that. I applaud that, and I'm not going to say anything wrong about Jank. Now, I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work at all. I think the whole thing is going to go down in blaming failure. But that's just my opinion. I'm not you. If you want to join it, if you already joined, I might even be on their email list, to be honest with you, because I went out there, but it was a while ago. But apparently, they got 26,000 nominations ready to go. People who were nominated, so they're getting these people all ready to replace all these Democrats. And they're people who run on platforms of anti-war and all the good stuff, all the delicious stuff. You know, taking care of people, making sure that everybody has their health care and universal basic income, so they don't grow up people with hate to run over people with Mustangs, and they make sure the people in the inner cities have the things they need. So I like that. I appreciate it, but I don't think it's going to work. I don't think you can change a dirty, corrupt system from inside. I think they knew that we were going to try to fix things a long time ago. The only way this will work, let me tell you how I think it could work. It's not going to happen, but it could work, is if some of our Republican friends go off and y'all make a website called justicerepublican.com. And y'all get a whole bunch of people together to replace all the Republicans on an anti-war platform and taking care of people and leave my rights alone, my Second Amendment, and let me keep my free speech and First Amendment. That's the only way it'll work. And why do I say that? Because they're running on a platform of not taking any money. And somebody explained to me, how do you beat Republicans who are taking the money? If Wall Street looks at the Democrats and says, they're running a bunch of people who aren't going to take any of our money. And Wall Street is still people. They still have a voting voice, which is money. And they give all the money to the Republicans. Can somebody tell me what's going to happen with this? Like, think about this for a minute. Let's think about this strategy. Put your thinking cap on. If the Democrats have no money and the Republicans got nothing but money, who do you think is going to win that election? 90% of all elections are won by whoever has the most money. This is why y'all going to be mad at me. It's a dumb idea. It's a dumb idea unless you get Republicans to do the same thing. You get Republicans to do the same thing, and I actually might go back on my statement that I'll never vote for a Democrat or Republican again. And it's a crazy name. I don't like the name, Justice Democrat. I don't like the name because it sounds like Justice Republican. There is no justice, people, when you kill 50 million people. You don't come back from that. You don't come back from killing 50 million people since 9/11 because you murdered those people. There is no justice. There's no justice possible. I prefer that they delete the parties and we start 7 new parties. That's my solution. But, you know, I like to stay away from the politics because I don't do politics. I'm going to read y'all's comments. See, y'all mad at me because I know that I just signed up to Justice Democrats today. You mother of a mother. Listen, anyway, let me... I don't think it's going to, but I think it's a good idea. Y'all just got to go back to put your thinking cap on, you know, lay down your sword for your brothers in the Republican side, because they Nigers too, and go talk to them and say, listen, we going to do this. Y'all should do this too, you know, and let's make sure that both the Justice Republicans and the Justice Democrats make sure that we have anti-war, taking care of people, leaving the Bill of Rights for the most part alone, like the things that y'all agree on, and then you might have something. But this whole, I'm going to do it my way, I don't need to talk to the other side, again, that's not progress. That's not, if you're leaving the other Nigers out, it's not progress. People just join like, what the hell is he talking about? Talking about some Nigers. Y'all got to go back to the beginning. You got to go back to the beginning. Otherwise, you'll be like, is he pronouncing it wrong? What's he talking about, Niger? Why is he on the porch this morning? I'm on the porch, damn it. It's my privilege. I'm on the porch. My father gave me what I needed to be on this porch this morning. I stepped down from the porch because I realized Master ain't never going to let me in the house. 1% ain't never going to let me in the house. They let me on the porch. I can pour some lemonade, but I decided I didn't want to pour that lemonade no more. Damn it. Got trips all over the world as a consultant for the 1% corporations. I decided I don't want to do this for y'all. Why am I helping y'all with automation? Because I'm automating the other Nigers out of jobs. And so I walked out of corporate America, got off the porch, picked me up a bag of cotton, found me a bush, and I hide by that bush. Anyway, what are y'all talking about? See who cussing me out this morning? Brother Tom said, because that's where they want to go next and take the resources. That's it, Brother Tom. If the resources buy some Nigers, Brother Tom, my father's name is Tom. I love your name, brother. I do. I really do. If you live by some coltan, Tom, if you go digging in the backyard in your garden and you find some coltan down there, you better not tell nobody. You strike oil or something, don't tell nobody. You find some cobalt or something or whatever resource we need, better not tell nobody. Hold on, I gotta take this thing. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't look at Sank. I can't look at it. I'm still pissed off at that dude. He was just getting all that Kool-Aid out that jar. You know, they used to put Kool-Aid in packets. You know, that's a carcinogen. As kids, we used to eat Kool-Aid right out the package. It's a surprise that any of us are alive. We should have been dead a long time ago. Yes, Sister Marsha, thank you. I'm gonna post a clip out there that you can watch the whole clip of Brother Rand talking about, in defense of Nigers. Somebody should write a book about how Rand Paul loves Nigers. That book will sell millions of copies. You might land you on the wrong TV shows, but Yeah, Brother Mark, I can't say that word, but that's what we're doing all over the world. We whoop something democracy, and we whooping democracy into Nigers. You damn right, we stringing them up, and if we can't kill them, we're stringing them up. And that's the truth, because that's the Nigers in this country have not decided to get together and admit that we all some Nigers, and they murdering all of us. You know what, I'm going to, hold on, because it's important for me to do this. It's important for me to make sure that I got the people. It's important, because if I'm sitting here talking this stuff, I need to make sure that I got the right people next to me in terms of this, right? Because me sitting here, people look at me, they're like, oh, what's that Niger talking about? I make sure I got Brother Lavoie next to me, because I stand in solidarity with Brother Lavoie. Y'all shouldn't have killed the brother. So before I'm going to go back down. I'm going to leave Brother Lavoie up, because it's important for people to know they're not just killing Nigers of a certain ethnicity. They're killing Nigers of all ethnicities. And it's all about minerals, resources, and rights. Why? Because in direct way of profit of Wall Street are minerals, resources, and American rights, which is why they kill Nigers. Police don't kill Nigers. Laws kill Nigers. Why? And who writes those? 1% write the laws that kill the Nigers of all races. Why? Because they got money to make. And we're too stupid to realize we're all on a plantation together. Anyway, all right. So Vegas wasn't a terrorist. I know nothing about Vegas, Brother Mark. I don't know anything about Vegas. All I know is it don't smell right. And they need to ask some questions. They need to ask a whole lot of questions, and nobody's asking questions. Most people have accepted the narrative. They accepted that Lee Harvey Oswald killed everybody in Vegas, and Lee Harvey Oswald, this dude, he killing everybody everywhere, and we just accept it because they say it, so it has to be true. Nobody questions it. 9/11 was an inside job. Imran, I agree with you. 9/11, because it don't smell right. Once again, I think if it wasn't done on the inside, it was supported on the inside, or it was known on the inside. And even if all of that is wrong, it was done by Saudi Arabia, who we know is the inside, right? We put their 1% in power. No, that's the best way to say it. 9/11 was done by the 1%. And just leave it at that. Why? Because they're the ones who profit from everything after 9/11, turning the Nigers around the world all against themselves. Sister Lynn Ban, home Home Depot, yeah, you got to get rid of it. Big business has to go. Big business should not exist on this planet because human beings live here. And as long as they live here, big business is going to be killing Nigers because that's what they do. They send slave ships with Nigers to go get other Nigers and they kill them. And that's what we've been doing since our inception. Thank you, Sister Patrice. Talk to your coworkers. This is what we got to do, guys. Like, this is how we actually get somewhere. When we we get somewhere when we start talking to people. We have to talk to people. You have to, but not people who look like you. Not Nigers that look like you. Not Nigers that live where you live. Not Nigers of your culture and your religion. You have to talk to Nigers of other culture and religion. Oh, somebody just said good morning. They don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Like, he talking about Nigers. Honey, we can't watch this. He talking about Nigers. He on the porch. Is that a plantation? Go back and watch the beginning, y'all. Sometimes my stuff gets a little out there, but 1%, yes. Just whip the 1%, Brother Mark. I don't know if we can do that. I'm not sure if we can whip the 1%. I know that we can starve the 1% so that they don't have the leather to make whips, which means they won't have the power to force Nigers all over the planet from doing the things that they want, which means that they don't have the ability to stop us. So I think we can weaken the 1%. I don't know if we can whoop them yet. Right now, like I said, it's not a time for protest. Right now is a time for people to start to recall who they are. They have to recall who their family is. They have to recall who they need to be standing by. And it's all, they got to remember, they got to know that they're Nigers. Their ancestors have always been Nigers. And all the Nigers that go back through all their ancestry were all preyed on by the 1%. And until they turn on the 1%, we get nowhere. Sister Cheryl, stop watching TYT. Thank you for your support, Sister Cheryl. We got to support people telling the truth. People that's not locked in. And I think there are a lot of good people still at TYT. And I think Jank a good, I called him Jank. I don't even know his name. I called him a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's just, you can't let emotion get in the way, people. Like, this is, how do you take an intelligent person and make him an idiot, a blithering idiot? Is you give him something emotion. You give him something passionate. You know, I was in a good conversation the other day, and we were talking about, had to do with Hillary, and had to do with how, you know, she was for, you know, universal health care until she became against it. And then she was for profit health care. But, you know, the person made a good point that, I don't blast people's names unless y'all want me to blast your name. Made a good point that, you know, with HIV medication, there are certain people who would never turn on the Democrat Party or Hillary because of it. And they do this. They make it passionate, you know, and they make it about life and death. And so you can't walk away from your plantation because this is what the masters have always done. They tie your very survival, existence, and life and happiness and hope to monsters. And that's what Sant got caught in the middle of. He let passion and emotion take out his intellect. And there's sometimes, you know, I don't tell people what they got to take a hit on. But sometimes you got to take a hit for the team. You got to realize that there's going to always be a cost for shutting down a plantation. And so everybody has to think about it. Brother Mark, I didn't say that. U.S. presence in Australia? What? Ish? What are you telling me they're in Australia? How could the U.S. be in Australia? How does that make any sense? Why would the U.S. be in Australia? What's in Australia? We got minerals? Oh, wow. How did we miss that? Ish. Look at that. Y'all see all the minerals? Look at that. Okay. And so they got isolated all of these minerals, and there's some Nigers living all around the coast where all these minerals, but look at the interior. So you trying to tell me ain't no asteroids land in the middle of the in the inside of Australia? So we know what's going on in Australia. The same reason we all over here. We all in every place where nobody knows what kind of minerals there, what kind of resources. It's all over this, just unmapped. They don't want to tell you what's there, but some Nigers there, and some Nigers living on top of them resources. So I didn't know we were in Australia, but I'm not surprised. We going and damn it, if you a Niger in Australia, You better hurry up and join the 1%. Or you better find a new address. Yes, there are a lot of Nigers in denial. Yes, Brother Tom, and they do it intentionally, right? Because they convince a lot of Nigers that they can join the 1%. They convince them that they can go in that house. They convince them that one day they're going to let you sit on the nice sofa. One day that they're going to let you maybe even get a room upstairs. And the reality is, if you're out in the field, you know what you can see? You know what you're out in the field? You know you see Brother Tom? Out in the field, you can see him throwing 1% out the window. Because the 1% is getting smaller and smaller. And they used to, in New York, they used to jump out of buildings. You see the 1% fall jumping out of buildings. But on the plantation, they throw them out the windows. Why? Because the 1% is getting smaller, and they're making a lot of the 1% Nigers. Which is why I think a lot of the truth is coming out. And that Emir in Qatar, the reason why he turned on the 1%, because they're trying to throw him out the window. You see how this works? It all feeds together. It all worked together. Man, oh man, oh man. What else? What y'all talk about? Yeah, Sister Renee, I imagine that there are no parties. Like I love the idea of getting back to a day, and people say, well, you're an anarchist. Yeah, I am. I'm an anarchist. I am because families are anarchy. And families seem to work pretty good. Communities are anarchy. Seems to work pretty good. Christmas time, when we all give each other gifts and family come over and stay in the house. They drink all the damn Kool-Aid and eat your food up, but that anarchy works out pretty well. Everybody gives each other stuff. Nobody charges anybody for anything. There are no laws and legal structures. Anarchy is not what you think it is. Human beings have existed in anarchy since the beginning of time, and everybody got along. The only time they stopped getting along is when they stopped realizing that there was a natural 1%. Called grizzly bears and tigers and lions and wolves that used to eat everybody. When we started making spears strong enough and bows and arrows, and we all started grouping together, and we could make agriculture, we could plant things, and we didn't have to walk around in dangerous places, that's when we started turning on each other. Because we at that point, the 1% started taking over. They started hoarding more of what one Niger could actually use, and then the invention of the Niger. And y'all became Nigers. We all some Nigers, y'all. Yeah, you got to get off the porch and run with the big dogs, Brother Mark. Oh, Fadia, they neutered the Democrats. The lion is now a pussycat. Yeah, it was a lot worse than that. I think because neutering, you only take some things. I think they took everything. They didn't just cut it all out. Probably it's concave. They didn't took everything because the Democrats, they run around with the Republicans. Whatever Wall Street says, they don't get no Vaseline, no reach around, no kiss. Kids, you don't know what I'm talking about, and don't look none of that up. It's not necessary for you to know that yet. But that's who they are. Hey, welcome, Sister Kimberly. Sister Diane, y'all came in late. I'm kind of wrapping up. But the word of the day is Niger. It said every country in the world is now Standing Rock. Every country in the world is now Standing Rock. You might be on to something deep there. Every country in the world is Standing Rock. Every country in the world has always been Standing Rock. And I think we're actually really starting to realize what all this is about. We're really starting to realize why none of the 1% give a damn, right? If you look at the Democrats and the Republicans on Standing Rock, they stood in the same place. You can sit here and you can say, oh, well, no, because the Democrats, they put the fine up there. That's no fine, dummy. It was like a couple $1 million. A couple $1 million to a company that's making a couple $1 billion. That's like a little tax. That's a tic tac. That's not a fine. That's nothing. And so they all agreed because they don't have a choice. The big oil parties are the Democrats and the Republicans. And they will make sure the big oil, the big mineral political parties, they will murder people for all the oil they want. Although I heard a good thing. I heard that there are prosecutions, or no, they're starting to levy lawsuits, launch lawsuits against law enforcement that actually use those water holes spraying down little kids and people in freezing temperatures. All right. Natural law seems natural to me. All right. Well, listen, that's all I kind of got for this morning. I'm not going to go and talk too long. I kind of like to try to make it a bite-sized chunk as much as I can. But there's always a lot of material to cover. There's always some crazy every day. You know, you can look at like the news that comes out. And again, I'll encourage you, start with RT, move over to Al Jazeera, look at other countries' news, because very soon you won't be able to watch any of it. If you go back and watch that that panel that they did with Facebook, Google, and Twitter, it'll be very obvious to you that very soon RT will not exist. They're already going after the journalists too. And what's going to happen is Russia is already talking about a response. So what is their response going to be to America's new 1% censorship? Is Russia is going to do a censorship on CBS, NBC, MSN, Fox. And those y'all who still watch that those lying bastards will know even less about what happens in Russia. Think about how that works. And so what would America do? America will escalate its censorship too, because the darn Russians are killing their people, and so we need to ban more Russian media. And then the Russians ban more of our media. And we look like it's a fight between America and Russia. You know, the governments are trying to take care of the people on the inside. What's really happening? The 1% is just preventing the Nigers in Russia from talking to the Nigers in America. And the 1% are preventing the Nigers in America from talking to the Nigers in Russia. And if you can keep the Nigers on different sides of the plantation from talking, you can do anything you like to that area of the plantation. It's the same way they do in America. If you keep the Nigers in the cities, not talking to the Nigers that y'all call out in the country, then you can do anything you want in those cities, or you can do anything to the ones in the country because people can't come together. So that's what I'm talking about today, and this is how all this escalation works. Every time you look at the news, just look at it from Niger 1%. That's all you got to do. You know, just realize that you live in Nigeria. The whole world is Nigeria. And look at it from a Niger 1%. Key bono. Who benefits? I probably said that wrong. Who's making the money? But whoever benefits from a thing, that is the author of that thing. And that is the one who that thing is for. And censorship will only benefit the 1%. Whether you love Hillary and hate Russia, none of it matters. Only the 1% are going to benefit from censorship. And the world can be dominated if you can get Nigers all over the country, all over the world, from realizing that they are either just on the porch, on some steps, or in the field. That was a rough one, had to get through. But anyway, listen, I appreciate y'all stepping in. I appreciate y'all sharing. Y'all Nigers, have a good day. Invite some Nigers to your house.